What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Our 60 Journey. My name is Lucas, and I'm helping you and me and everybody else, hopefully, build healthy relationships. And this is what's been happening in my world, okay? Anytime you have a habit of any form, from food to hygiene to exercise to how you talk to people, how you talk to yourself, when you decide to make a huge life change, or at least when I decide, I don't want to cast it on you, maybe you're not like this, maybe you are. When I make a huge life change and I decide that at this point forward I'm going to do this, X, whatever X is, at some point W shows up. Out of just habit, like the other day I was driving and I had basically 99% of the time I had driven on this certain road, I'd always taken a right at this exit. I always take a right from that specific road to that exit. That's just how I drive from wherever about me. Well, I had an Uber ride, and I was supposed to go down and do one more exit. And I found myself turning and going, wait a minute. So my point is, as I've been unpacking all these different ways that I want to handle communication in my life, there have been multiple setbacks where maybe there's a specific person and your dynamic is very, very specific. It's been the same dynamic for ever. And all of a sudden, I want to make a change to it. I said you and I. Do you see how I go back and forth in you and I? I really struggle with those things. Like, that's something I work on, guys, daily, is the words. Right? Because you can. It's not proper to look at someone and say, you blank, 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 and this happens. Because then it's sumptuous of them. And as an online medium, I have no idea who I'm talking to right now. I'm talking to everyone, to God. And that means all the options. So anything that doesn't work this certain way for me, it will be backwards for someone else. Completely backwards for someone else. And there's all the variables in between of the way it happened. And so anyway, I'm really working on saying I. That's part of the thing with building relationships too right now for me is standing in my own I and knowing what my path and my vibration and my journey and direction, where it's going. Because like someone put on Facebook today, it's so sad when you lose someone you've had forever because blah, 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 blah. And I just responded, like, well, it's like, you lose people. Like, this is just what happens. And then they were like, well, it's so sad when you end badly. And I thought to myself, there are no ends. There are no ends in relationships. People can show up randomly. And what's really interesting for me is that I always give a second chance, and sometimes they do too. Okay, I usually give a second chance, and sometimes, usually for them, they do too. And we end up coming to the same place. That happened today. Ran into someone, hadn't seen them for six or 7 years. They remembered everything. They remembered all these different details. And I didn't. Like, I didn't remember any of those things. Like, and they were telling these stories about, and it's always funny how that works. And I just responded, like, people, every time we access our memory and we tell the story to ourselves or to someone else about all these past things that happened to us, they change. They change. And if there's been a story you've been telling yourself for even longer than a year, and let's all face it, we have stories for us that go like up to, years behind us. Check in with those stories right now. Because those stories are defining your relationship as it is currently. Letting go of what happened is totally different than holding on to it and then manipulating it to fit whatever story and whatever. Because the thing is, each of us in these relationships, as things are happening, we have our own perspective of what these people are doing and for why. And I think sometimes through time, I just believe people do it because at some point it can't be just, we all seem to remember things differently. We all remember things differently. Oh, wow. Someone today in my class said, tomorrow's not real. And when you're in the moment and all you're thinking about is making that moment the best it can be, it's true. There is no tomorrow. And we sometimes spend so much time looking at relationships in time. We look where it's going or where it's been, and I think it's just what it is right now. Like right now, whatever that relationship feels like to you, choose how you're going to move, what you need to say. I know that I think from my perspective of people talking to me, people are not speaking their truth. That is the defining flaw in all of these relationships, in all of them, is that someone's not telling the other person. Like the other day, Uber ride, okay? I have this Uber ride, and I was only driving her 5 minutes. I don't even know what I said or did, but at some point she goes, so I have some drama I want to talk to you about with blah, blah, blah. I was like, that's so funny. I'm an emotional counselor. I work as an intuitive psychic, but emotional counselor for an Uber ride is a opening door for that. And she just says to me this long. And I responded about 3 or 4 minutes later. We started driving around her neighborhood because she wanted to keep talking. Are you telling him any of this? No. Why? Why? Oh my gosh. Why? Like, why hold in the truth? Like, and that's what helps people grow. And we all have such a hard time saying it out loud, but it's when we speak our truth outwardly that people wake up. And sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's nasty. I've been nasty in relationships. At some point I was thinking about today, like, it's common phrase from what I understand that we as a society have heard the phrase, hurt people hurt people. It's the hurt people that are hurting the other people that are being hurt. It's this wave. And at some point I was thinking about that phrase today, and I was thinking about, I guess, this sin, this wrongdoing that I did in my life, and all of a sudden I remember when that wrongdoing was done to me. And it was, the wrongdoing came first, and then I did it to someone else later. But it also was the other way, where somewhere in the past I did some wrongdoing, and it comes back. And it made me just, I was so, you don't have to do it to make it happen to you. It can happen to you to make you do it. It totally changed my perspective on guilt. Like, there are some things in life that you just cannot change. Some things just happen. And sometimes I think that the transcendence behind that, because there's this also phrase that I know of, is I cannot change certain things. Let it go. And things that I can, do your best with it. Like, do your absolute best. Like, give me the wisdom to see what I can't change. And what is that phrase? It's like some sort of prayer. Give me the discernment. Oh, this video is going on and on and on. And we're 4 or 5 videos behind right now. Like, videos that are done on this computer. I don't even know what's on there anymore. I don't even know what's on there, but it's ready to go on there. Guys, and the point of my video today was, what do you do when you really decide to change how you're going to operate and it causes the world to shift? Well, at that moment, when that happens, from what I can tell, we can either stand our ground and it'll turn out well or turn out bad, or we can realize by standing our ground we were being too much and then go back to the way it was. Positive, negative, 0. The thing that worries me, worry, just for today I will not worry, is that after I said just for today I will not worry, I forgot. Just for today, I will not anger. Just for today, I will do my work honestly and gracefully. Just for today, I will respect all living creatures. I was totally in my body right now. I wonder what face I was making. I totally want to see because my students say I make a face. And it's on camera now. 12 minutes, 16 seconds, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Stop it.